Ideanya sebenarnya berasal daripada satu sesi brainstorming. Jadi hasil perbincangan tersebut kami mencadangkan untuk kita memberi solution kepada rakyat Malaysia untuk mengatasi masalah salah satu daripada penyakit yang menjadi pembunuh nombor satu rakyat Malaysia, iaitu penyakit serangan jantung. Saya Profesor Mahdia Dr. Syukur Abdul Razak daripada Sekolah Komputeran Fakulti Kejuruteraan, merupakan ketua program untuk program myThrob, satu program di mana merupakan sebuah grant transdisciplinary daripada Jabatan Pengajian Tinggi, yang mana kami seramai 5 orang penyelidik mencipta satu device yang dinamakan myThrob, yang mana device ini adalah bertujuan untuk memberi kesedaran kepada rakyat kita di Malaysia tentang bahayanya penyakit serangan jantung, dan keduanya kita juga untuk memberikan satu device yang boleh dibuat ataupun diadakan di rumah supaya pada bila-bila masa rakyat boleh memeriksa sama ada kita ni dikategorikan sebagai orang yang berisiko mendapat serangan jantung atau tidak. Bila kita mencipta satu device yang berkaitan dengan perubatan, kita memerlukan teknologi bukan saja dalam bidang perubatan, bidang elektronik dan juga elektrik, tapi juga security ataupun keselamatan data-data pesakit. Jadi program ini bermula 2016, kita mengkaji isu-isu fundamental sehinggalah kepada 2018 kami kumpulkan bersama hasil-hasil ni dan kita akan integratekan dalam satu produk yang kita nama sebagai myThrob.
The key point of the myThrob is it is a standalone device with self-detection. You no need to rely on the internet coverage or whatever wireless technology. You just apply the electrode on your hand and leg, and then it will automatically classify and tell you whether your heart condition is normal or some arrhythmia is detected.
Kalau ditanya di fasa mana kita sekarang, kami sudah pun berada di fasa akhir di mana produk ini akan kita packagekan dan akan kita cuba komersialkan dengan cara sama ada partnership dengan medical companies ataupun kita terus komersialkan melalui arm commercialization di UTM.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone watching this webinar from Facebook and YouTube of iHumEn, Institute of Human-Centered Engineering, Universiti Teknologi Malaysia, UTM. We are proud to bring you another series of 30 minutes with iHumEn. First of all, let us take a moment to pray God for a blessed program. Al-Fatiha. Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alamin. Our topic today is myThrob, an intelligent heart rhythm monitoring device for early heart disease detection and prevention. A brief introduction on our speaker. Dr. Jasmine is a research fellow at IJN-UTM Cardiovascular Engineering Center, Institute of Human-Centered Engineering, and also a senior lecturer at the School of Biomedical Engineering and Health Sciences, Fakulti of Engineering, Universiti, Teknologi, Malaysia. Okay, Dr. Jasmine received both her PhD and master degree in electrical engineering from Universiti Teknologi Malaysia in 2009 and 2005. Dr. Jasmine research interests are in the design of multi-processor system on chip, network on chip, from high-level algorithm modeling until low-level of processing architecture design, as well as field programmable gate array implementation. Going forward, Dr. Jasmine research interests have spread into the field of cryptographic and data security application, biomedical application such as arrhythmia classification and medical imaging processing, as well as ADHD or autism assessment. Dr. Jasmine has published more than 50 papers in peer-reviewed international journal and conference and several book chapters. Dr. Jasmine has also won many Best Invention awards in design competition and secured a few patents and copyright based on her research invention. Well, that's the brief intro of Dr. Jasmine. Before I pass this stage to Dr. Jasmine, I would like to ask your support by like, share and subscribe our iHumEn Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. This will help us reaching you for our next webinar series. Okay, without further delay, I would like to invite Dr. Jasmine to our stage.
Thank you, Akmal. Thank you, Akmal, for your good introduction. So, can you see my slide now? Can you see my slide now? Hi, everyone. I'm Jasmine.
Okay.
Yes, okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks for spend your morning with me for 30 minutes. So today, I would like to share with you my research invention, so-called myThrob, targeted for the heart disease detection and prevention. So before I start, thanks for Mr. Akmal just now for your good introductions. And I just want to repeat that you can call me Jasmine. So I'm a research fellow at UTM IJN Cardiovascular Engineering Center. Okay, so as just now you have seen the video, this is an invention that related with the heart disease detection and prevention. So allow me to share you some interesting statistics or facts about the current status of the heart disease in worldwide as well as in Malaysia. So can you from this slide you can see that heart disease is actually the top silent killer in the world. Okay, you can see that the first two ranking is the ischemic heart disease and the stroke. And according to the statistics from the World Health Organization, there are 17.9 million people die every year because of the cardiovascular disease. Okay, so you can see that 17.9 million people is a very huge number. So from here you can see CVD is a top silent killer. And then let us shift a little bit of attention. This is the statistics about US only. Okay, this is the statistic about US. You can see, for example, we can see that this is the statistics published in the 2018. So now the number should be even higher. Okay, you can see that there is an estimation that 1 million people will have a heart attack or die from coronary heart disease this year. Okay, and then for example, there are 356,000 cardiac arrests that occur outside a hospital each year. Okay, and then these are the risk factor of the heart disease. For example, type 2 diabetes, smoke habits, and then including the obesity as well. And let us pay some attention to this projection that in every year, 1 in 4 deaths are caused by heart disease. And there are some projection that by 2030, there will be 23.6 million people die because of the heart disease. And then besides of the health issues, let us take a look about the implication of the financial. You can see from here, the direct and indirect cost of cardiovascular disease and stroke total more than 316.6 billion. This includes the health expenditure as well as the lost productivity. Okay. And then this one is, we have seen the statistics about the worldwide from WHO as well as the US. So now how about the Malaysia? Let us take a look about the Malaysia. Okay, so this is the statistics that I obtained for the Malaysia. You can see that based on the statistics here, there are NCD, non-communicable disease, are estimated to account for 74% of all deaths. And out of this 74%, 35% are cardiovascular disease. So in 2016, Malaysia, the leading cause, the cardiovascular disease has caused about 54,000 deaths. Okay, and then you can see from this bar graph, in 2010, we only have about 9,371 people die. But in 2018, among the quantity of the death is doubled up from 9,000 to 18,000. So what will happen in the next 10 years or 20 years? Okay, and then the principal causes of death by age group, you can see that from 41 to 59 years is about 19.2%, and 60 years and over is a little bit drop, 16.6%. Okay, suffer from ischemic heart disease, and these statistics are obtained from Department of Statistics Malaysia. Okay, so as you can see now from all these facts, cardiovascular disease is a worldwide issue. Okay, and then now normally to enable the prevention or the detection or diagnosis of the heart disease, normally we will go to the process so-called electrocardiography. So this is a very first stage non-invasive diagnostic tool to examine the electrical activity of our heart. Okay, so when we are doing the ECG, we will obtain a waveform so-called electrocardiogram. It's also named as ECG as well. So as you can see that this typical ECG wave consists of PQRST. Okay, PQRST wave, and each of it have reflect certain meanings and conditions of our heart during the pumping. Okay, so the ECG, as you can see, is the interpretation of it can examine the cardiac rhythms or morphology. The morphology here that we mentioned is, for example, okay, taking this as an example, this is the P wave, represents the atrial depolarization. So this one is the P onset and offset, and then what is the interval of it. So this is what we so-called, and then the amplitude of it. Okay, the duration of it. So this is what we mean ECG morphological characteristics. And from the interpretation analysis of this ECG, it reveals certain very crucial information of our heart. For example, our heart rate, the presence of abnormalities of the myocardial cells or heart electrical conduction system, okay, and so on. So allow me to ask you a question now. I believe many of you have the experience in doing the in measuring your blood pressure at home, right? Okay, you have the experience in measuring your blood pressure at home. But do you have the experience in measuring your ECG at home? Do you have it? You have tried it before? Okay, so now when we want to monitor our, when we want to know our heart condition for early prevention of the heart disease, we must do ECG. But the problem with doing the ECG, before that, let me share with you. This is the ECG of different conditions. Okay, this is the ECG of different conditions. For example, the upper left here showing the normal ECG with a healthy ECG, normal sinus rhythm, okay, and SR. Okay, and then there are different arrhythmia will occur. The arrhythmia here means that the irregular heartbeat. Different heart condition will have a different heart condition, different arrhythmia or irregular heartbeat. It will generate different ECG signal. Okay, so you can see that, for example, ventricular tachycardia, the line here, the ECG waveform here is the upper one is a healthy, the below one is the abnormal one. So this one is the abnormal ECG of ventricular tachycardia. And this one is the ECG of the atrial tachycardia. So you can see that different arrhythmia have different ECG morphological characteristics. Okay, and as well as the ventricular fibrillation, atrial fibrillation. So in terms of the arrhythmia, they have a certain arrhythmia is not so time critical. Certain arrhythmia is time critical. So for example, the tachycardia, they are time critical. If the medical action didn't do it, didn't carry out, the ventricular tachycardia will develop to the ventricular fibrillation. So at that moment is somehow that we need to use the defibrillator to reset your heart rhythm. Okay, atrial fibrillation is a very strong precursor of stroke. Okay, atrial fibrillation is a very strong precursor of stroke. That's why you can see that there is a lot of the smartwatch, including the Apple Watch, something like that, they're able to detect atrial fibrillation. Okay, so now, as I mentioned just now, let us come back to the previous question. Have you ever tried to measure your ECG at home? I believe 80% of you never tried before, or maybe 90%. Okay, so now that is the pain of the public community. If I want to monitor, I want to check my heart condition. I want to check whether my ECG is all right. The only way that I can do it is I have to visit hospital. So if I want to visit hospital, then I may have to suffer from long distance travel to hospital for heart checking, especially to those who stay at the maybe developing states, outskirt area or the rural area. Okay, and then the long hour waiting at hospital for diagnosis. I believe most of you trying to avoid it. Even me, I myself trying to avoid it. Every time when I go to hospital, okay, though the appointment maybe only take about 10 to 15 minutes, but at the end, I end up waiting 3 to 4 hours or maybe whole morning in the hospital. Okay, and then, for example, though there are many existing heart monitoring solutions available, okay, which I will share with you later, but the rural community, they're not able to enjoy their features, their sophisticated features, because normally in the rural area, somehow we don't have the established internet infrastructure, okay, to upload the data to cloud for processing, something like that. Somehow even in the shopping center or even in the university area, okay, it's not every corner is under good coverage of internet. But nowadays, a lot of the existing heart monitoring solution, they are highly reliant on the internet for analysis. Okay, and then for the others, For the others, a very sophisticated ECG monitor or the ECG device, basically they are quite cost expensive. For example, 8,000 or 10,000, depends on the functionality they offered. And they have a very complex user interface, which mainly is targeted for the clinician or to those medical staff who have the clinical knowledge. Okay, and then in terms of the just now we see the pain of the public community, but how about the pain of the healthcare center? When everybody storm into the hospital just to do the heart screening, then the specialists and the clinical staff, they will be overloaded. The hospital will have a very, very heavy patient load. And then they will have a less working effectiveness and efficiency. So for example, maybe there are 100 people that go to do the heart screening if they really don't mind about the long distance traveling and the long hour waiting. But at the end, maybe end up 5 to 10 people, they have the heart issues, heart problems. Then the 90 people, maybe they're actually all right. So this one somehow directly or indirectly, it will affect the work effectiveness and efficiency of the specialist in treating the real potential patient. Okay, so now we have, and then we have seen the pain of both public community and the healthcare center. And then, as I mentioned just now, there are many existing commercial solutions. This is the hospital-grade ECG machine, which normally is very, very expensive. It's very, very heavy duty. The user interface is meant for the clinician, not for the layman public user like us. And we also have a Holter, which is a very lightweight device that you can carry with you to measure your ECG. Says that 12 hours continuous up to 72 hours, okay, to monitor your ECG continuously. However, most of these Holter, they are only meant for acquire the ECG. They only acquire only capture your ECG signal and then store. After that, you need to return this device or you need to upload your data into the hospital for the clinician interpretation. So this Holter, when you are holding it, you don't know whether you are all right or not. You have arrhythmia happen or not because they just simply acquire the data. And then we also have, I think many of you, definitely you will have a lot of the ECG mobile, maybe you have the smartphone with you, okay? Now all of us cannot live without smartphone, basically including me. So you can see that we have a lot of mobile app available. Definitely this one including the ECG mobile app. However, most of the mobile app now, they mainly just measure the heart rate, okay? How many beats per minute? How many your heartbeats per minute? So for example, if less than 60 per minute, okay, if we have a less than 60 per minute, then someone is saying that they have the arrhythmia, so-called bradycardia. Or if they have very fast heartbeat, more than 100 per minute, then they will have so-called tachycardia. So both bradycardia and tachycardia, they are also two types of arrhythmia as well. So mainly they only measure your heart rate to determine whether you have the bradycardia or tachycardia, but they cannot able to, most of them, I will not say all of them, most of them, they don't support very complex arrhythmia analysis, like just now I mentioned atrial fibrillation, which is a very strong precursor of a stroke. Okay, they're not able to analyze detect PVC, premature ventricular contraction, or ventricular tachycardia, which you have seen the ECG waveform before. And they are also relying on a stable internet infrastructure. Okay, not suitable for remote area, as I mentioned just now in one of the pain of the public community. Okay, and then there's also smartwatch. Okay, the wearable device like the smartwatch, which I have a sample here. Okay, Secretariat, do you mind to switch the screen? Okay, so let me share with you that. Okay, this is Apple. Can you see my screen now? Okay, this is the sample of the Apple Watch, which it able to do the heart rhythm monitoring as well. And they also can detect atrial fibrillation. So this is a sample of the smartwatch together with the Apple smartphone. Okay, so this is a sample of it. So mainly, they also, if you don't have the internet connection, they mainly just measure the heart rate. If they want to do the on-device atrial classification, they have to rely on the internet as well for the processing. Okay, so that is all the samples of the ECG devices from different categories. So now that's why from here we come out an invention so-called myThrob. Okay, so-called myThrob. Secretariat, do you mind to switch the screen to my slide again? Okay, so this is, we come out invention, so-called myThrob, which it is an intelligent home care heart monitoring device. Okay, the main objective in inventing this device is we are trying to allow the public to monitor their heart through the single lead ECG signal anywhere, anytime with affordable cost. Okay, later after my sharing with you, I will have a very short demo video, about 4 minutes, to let you see how this device can be used. Okay, so basically this device is a combination of 4 sophisticated technologies. Okay, you can see the red text here, which is the FPGA, Field Programmable Gate Array. We also support the artificial intelligence. Okay, we use the machine learning based classification, and then we also use the system on chip technologies, and for sure IoT. In this case will be IOMT, Internet of Medical Things. Okay, let me just brief you about this one. So for example, the FPGA, the Field Programmable Gate Array, it allows the system hardware upgrade. For example, you always receive a notification from your mobile phone saying that, okay, this mobile app, WhatsApp or whatsoever is ready for update. But those update is only applicable to software. But FPGA allow us to upgrade our hardware. It means that it's able to upgrade our processing capability, the processor itself. So for example, now I launched this device. Maybe from time to time, we keep doing the research. I have come up with even more sophisticated or more powerful processing units. Or maybe I add the new hardware functions to protect the sensitivity of the data. Then FPGA allow us to do it because it allow us to reconfigure the system. Okay, so this is the strength of the FPGA. It allows the system hardware upgrade, reconfigure, not the software, it's the hardware. And then we also have the AI. AI, everybody talking about AI now. So in this case, we use the machine learning based classification to ensure the high accuracy. So with the AI, it analyzes the ECG signal and it will do the self-detection of the potential heart disease. Okay, and now I want to highlight the key point of our invention compared to the other existing solution is system on chip. Because we apply the technology of the system on chip in this device, therefore everything is self-classification. Every analysis, ECG analysis is considered is a very complex analysis because just now I mentioned there are so many morphological signals that we need to process. So all this computation is very complex and tedious. Therefore, a lot of the existing solution is they acquire the ECG, they upload to the server, they do the processing somewhere else. But with the combination of the system on chip technology, it allows us to do everything on device with real-time performance. Okay, with real-time performance means that you give me 10 seconds of ECG, within 1 second, I give you the result, whether the patient have a user, they have the arrhythmia or they have a normal heart rhythm. Okay, so this is the strength of the SoC, system on chip, to provide the fast computation result. real time. And then for sure, we also want to make sure our invention is compatible with the others. Therefore, we also support the IoT, the Internet of Things technologies. For example, we also push the data and the result to the cloud. Why we still want to do this? Because we want to provide the double protection. We want to provide the double protection to the user. While if you are in a rural area, you don't have the internet connection, the system on chip and the FPGA together with the AI, they will help you to know whether instantly your heart rhythm have problem or not. But if you are in the urban area, you have the very well-established internet infrastructure, then all this data will be pushed to the cloud so that the clinician, the cardiologist, the specialist, they could see your record and then double examine whether the ECG is really abnormal or abnormal. So this is what we so-called double protection. Okay. So while we are designing the device, while we are designing the invention, we have to consider so many factors. For example, implementation technology. Just now I mentioned the technology that we use is a system on chip and the FPGA, right? So we have to consider how is the cost, what is the size, and then resource, and then we have to consider whether it is a lightweight device, it is a portability, okay, the reconfigurability. So this is all the implementation and the deployment technologies that we need to consider. So that one is on the processing and the device outlook as well. And then we have to consider the accuracy by determining which type of the classification algorithm that we can use, because we want to ensure the real-time performance. Therefore, not everybody talking about deep learning, but deep learning, if we are targeted to the embedded device, a standalone device like that, deep learning may be too heavy because it is too compute intensive. So if I apply the deep learning algorithm, maybe you give me 10 seconds of ECG, I only can give you the result after 1 hour because the computation is so complex. So we have to choose a suitable algorithm which able to give us acceptable timing performance, but at the same time provide us the good accuracy as well. How to strike the balance of it. And by using this algorithm and the selected features, which type of arrhythmia we can detect. So after the consideration of both technology and the algorithm, then there is the performance metrics that we will evaluate. For example, the most important thing is the accuracy. How accurate is this? If I achieve a very fast performance, but the accuracy is so bad, less than 50%, what is the point there? Okay. And then how about the computation timing performance? So if I can achieve 100%, but I only can get my result after 1 or 2 hours, pointless as well. So while we are inventing this design, we have to consider all these factors. And then we try to find a balance point, strike the balance in all 3 domains. Good computation performance, good accuracy. Okay. So this is our top-level system architecture. As you can see, in this case, the a subject or a user, they will have 3 electrodes that plug into their body to obtain single lead only. To analyze the rhythm, single lead is enough. Okay, so we use the lead 1 and then we pump into this SoC FPGA. So as you can see, all the algorithm processing is done on this device. It's done on this device, and we also support the other supporting features like the power management, the power charging indicator. So reset and hibernate the system for long hour standby. Okay, so all the processing that you can see is on the SoC FPGA here. Okay, and then after we acquire the data, we will send the data through Bluetooth to our mobile app. And the mobile app is not doing any processing. It only do the result display and upload to the cloud. Okay, so here in the mobile app, we will have the ECG analysis, we will have the live ECG waveform display, and then we will show the arrhythmia classification result, and then all the acquired data we will push to cloud. Okay, in this case, we use the Google technology so that the clinician, they could go inside and further validate the ECG. Okay, so this is our top level system architecture. SoC FPGA, which execute AI algorithm, machine learning, mobile app for result display, and then Google technology for double protection. Okay, so this is the research is actually start at 2013. This is our very first generation of the FPGA prototype. This is our first generation in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. 2015, we have this very first generation of the FPGA prototype. As you can see, this is still power adapter, based on the power adapter, and then we have a split acquisition unit as well as the FPGA processing unit, and then we have the 3 electrodes here. Okay, and this is the latest prototype that we have now. So, Secretariat, do you mind to help me switch to my screen? I want to show some invention here. Okay, so as you can see that this is my latest prototype. Okay, you can see that this is a palm size. Okay, this is a palm size, and this one is actually battery operated. This one is battery operated, so we no need to use the power adapter. This is a battery operated, and it is a rechargeable battery. Just like your handphone, you can charge and recharge, charge, and then you use it, and then you recharge. Okay, so and then you can see that compared to the first generation, pump size is very lightweight, it's very easy, just even is as smaller as a normal blood pressure meter, so you can bring along anywhere with you. Okay, and then we can just simply plug this electrode. Okay, plug this electrode, and then with these 3 sensors attached to your attached to your body, then you can monitor whether your ECG is all right or there is some abnormality there. Okay, so this is our latest invention, pump size already with battery powered. Okay, rechargeable battery powered, and everything is a single module and is a lightweight. Okay, and for sure it is still support the IoT features like the Bluetooth. Okay, and it's like pocket size lah. Okay, and then this is how we test our system. So far, we test our system, the accuracy of it, the performance of it using 2 approach. One, in terms of the accuracy, we use the standard research database, so-called MIT BIH database. Okay, so MIT BIH database is a very well-established database that used by almost the world, all the researchers doing the ECG research worldwide. Okay, so we use that one as our benchmarking in terms of the accuracy, because that one is a real human ECG. Okay, we also, that one is for the offline analysis to measure our accuracy. But we also try to do the online ECG analysis by using an instrument so-called patient simulator. So you can see that this is a patient simulator. We set the configuration to AFib, means that now the generated signal is the atrial fibrillation signal. As I mentioned, it's a very important precursor of stroke. Okay, and then the acquired signal we will display in our mobile app. Okay, and then you can see that we're able to detect the abnormality, irregular heart rhythm. The code is AFib. And then you can see that the ECG signal display here is exactly the same showing at the oscilloscope. So it means that our system is working fine. Okay, so this one is just a sharing of the mobile app user interface. For example, we support the user authentication to sign in, to retrieve your password, okay, password recovery, something like that, and then how we link to the Google storage. And then these are the waveform that we're able to detect. Okay, we're able to detect. For example, just now I mentioned that we're able to measure many different types of arrhythmia, right? So different arrhythmia, we can show the difference. And the most important thing is we're able to classify them accurately. So this is the AFib. Here we show the code AFib. This is the LBBB, bradycardia, tachycardia, RBBB, VTAC, PVC, and this one is the normal sinus rhythm. And this one is just showing the battery level of our device. Okay, you still have 90%. Don't worry, you still can continue to monitor your heart continuously. Okay, and then we also can show your heart rate, and you can observe that there are different color of this caption. For example, if a signal is a healthy signal, is a normal signal, then we will display in green color sinus rhythm. It is a normal ECG. But if there is something wrong there, okay, but it is still not so critical, then we will display in either red color or the orange color. Okay, it's not time critical, but it is some abnormality detected. Okay, but if there is a time critical arrhythmia detected, which you must take prompt medical action, then we will display red color. Okay, so we use different color to indicate the severity of the detected ECG abnormality. Okay, so this one is only for the education page info for targeted to the user. So for example, if suddenly I was detected AFib, so what is AFib? Then this one we will show just an education page. So if you have AFib, means that which part of your heart maybe got some problem already. So we are not trying to say that this myThrob invention is a diagnostic, but it's as a screening device. So when somebody already detected there is some certain heart abnormality, then we advise that the user straight away head to hospital for further medical appointment for diagnosis purpose. Okay, so now I have presented the general idea of this myThrob invention. Secretariat, do you mind to help me play the video so that our audience can see how the system is demo? Thank you. Okay, so now let me go back to my slide. Okay, so basically you have seen the demo. Basically, it's a very simple device. You just simply need to charge the device and then you apply 3 electrodes into your body. Then you can measure the single ECG and then it will tell you whether your heart rhythm is normal or abnormal. And then if there is any abnormal, what is the types of the arrhythmia is detected? And then you will advise go to the hospital for further diagnosis. So the main novelty of this myThrob, as you can see, is we able to apply the system on chip architecture, which able to give you the instant result in less than 1 second. You give me 10 seconds of ECG, I give you the result shorter than 1 second. And the accuracy based on our benchmark with the MIT BIH database and with the patient simulator, the accuracy is good, more than 80%. Okay, and then the main novelty of it is also we support the hardware architecture upgrade from time to time. Okay, and then so when we're trying to benchmark with the others, existing solution, okay, the cost wise is affordable, but however this cost is only material cost lah. Okay, and then there is a multiple arrhythmia self-detection. Now, please remember the keyword is the self-detection, not pushing to the cloud, rely on the internet to process it and then send it back. It's an on-device self-detection. So myThrob support it. What most of the commercial device they don't support it. Okay, or they just measure acquire the ECG signal, and then we are also portable. And then we also have a good accuracy because we apply the machine learning. We also support the Internet of Things. We also battery powered, but the real-time processing, we able to offer it because we use the integration, the combination of the system on chip and the FPGA. And then there are certain devices, if you are out of internet, you cannot use it anymore. He just gets acquired only, it cannot process, but we can. Therefore, we enable the remote monitoring at the rural area. And then because we're using the FPGA, we able to upgrade the architecture from time to time. And then in future, we plan to apply the data security because patient medical information is highly sensitive. Okay, so our targeted market is, for example, to the public community. Okay, you just treat it as a home-based blood pressure machine. Okay, so this one, instead of a home-based blood pressure machine, now is a home-based ECG monitor. You can monitor your ECG at home. Okay, so we aim for the, for example, especially the public community at the rural area somehow. Okay, and then but urban area also can use it because we still offer very interesting features like the multiple arrhythmia self-classification. Okay, most of the other device, they mainly just detect the AFib, but we're able to detect, for example, PVC, PAC, okay, and then other like bradycardia, tachycardia, we also can detect, but it's LBBB, RBBB, we also can detect. Okay, so you can see that this is our targeted potential market. For example, the public community, in terms of the, for example, at worldwide, 32.89 million of people are at high risk of CVD. So to those who are very concerned about their health, they will be our targeted market as well. And then the USA, you can see that the age more than 20 years old, there will be estimated 60.5 million people will have CVD. Okay, and then we also aim for for example, the primary healthcare center as a heart disease screening device. As you know that normally when we do the triage in the clinic Kesihatan, okay, we will just measure our SpO2, we will measure our blood pressure, we will measure our temperature. But how about we include the ECG screening at the primary healthcare center as well? So, for example, we have around 1,800 clinic days at Malaysia, according to the MOH website. Okay, and then in Australia, there are around 333,000 service event of cardiology in medical consultation clinics. And as I mentioned just now, we also aim for the rural community as a heart disease screening device as well. So please don't be surprised if you found out that even at the USA, who is declared as a developed countries, they also have 4,300 rural health clinics across 44 states. So all these statistics are obtained from a very reliable source. And then think about India. In the rural India, approximately 638,000 villages. Okay, more than 714 million individuals. Okay, so this one is our targeted market. And then, so to conclude this, we were trying to say that this invention, okay, will have a benefit to both public community, healthcare industry, and to national development, direct or indirectly. So, for example, for the public community, they will enable a healthier lifestyle by have the frequent heart monitoring frequent heart monitoring for early heart disease screening and prevention. Okay, and then for the healthcare industry, for example, by identifying the highly potential patients, we could help to improve specialist work effectiveness and efficiency by treating the real potential patients. And at the same time, we also help to improve the heart care service quality. So for example, as I mentioned just now, if we can include the heart screening with a very easy approach at the clinic Kesihatan, then we can improve the healthcare service quality as well. And directly or indirectly, we help to reduce the hospital patient load. And because we secured the human capital, which is the main asset of the country development, so this we have a contribution to the national development as well. And then by reducing or detecting the heart disease patient in the earlier stage, so that prevention can be taken, we also reduce the national expenditure due to the expensive medical costs. So indirectly, it also helps to reduce the heavy economic burden. So this one is just a sharing of the history of this invention. As I mentioned to you, that this one, the project is already start in actually end of 2012, when I'm applying the MOSTI eScience Fund. And then in the 2015 and 2016, I applied the TRGS grant to further enhance the processing architecture, and we started doing the mobile app. And then in the 2019, I'm in the PRGS now, still trying to enhance the architecture, but at the same time, we are trying to do the market and technology validation. So I'm applying the ethical approval for these matters. So once the ethical approval is obtained, then we will do the technology validation to the real human. Okay, and then hopefully, if everything going smooth, in the 2022 or 2023, we're able to commercialize it. So this is my team, and I would like to acknowledge them. So this invention is mainly under the collaboration between UTM and UITM Cardiology Center. Okay, so in this team, we have basically engineering team and clinical team. So in the engineering team from UTM, we have the Dr. Uy, Associate Professor Dr. Uy, me, Dr. Afzan, and Dr. Zaid. And Dr. Rania is from UTM, but she is a medical doctor, so she is under clinical team. So the cardiologists, we have the Professor Sazli from UITM, as well as Dr. Lim from UITM. So, and then we have the clinical partner for UITM Cardiology and IJN, and the industrial partner, for example, Intel, to support in terms of the technology and the workstream. So, and I would like to say thank you to my all my students as well who have contributed to this invention. There are so many of them. So for this, here I end my sharing. If you have any further question, then feel free to write email to me or WhatsApp or call me. Thank you. I hand over to you, Akmal.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jasmine, for the great session. Okay, now let us see if there is any question or comment from our viewer, from our Facebook and YouTube iHumEn.
No question.
Okay, I think no question, but I have one question, Dr. Jasmine.
Yeah, sure.
I would like to ask if do you already have any industrial partner that will take up the myThrob to be commercialized?
Okay. Currently, we are trying to communicate with Agenda, and then UEM Agenda, and then we will try to apply commercial funding together, so that this invention can really further. For example, to do the clinical trial, and then we try to obtain the CE marking, and then we try to restructure the design ready for commercialization. So we are in discussing now. We are in discussion. So currently, UEM Agenda is very interested in this one, and then Intel point of view, they will support in terms of the technology. So for example, if this one this invention is launched, and then they maybe will, because we are using their chip, so maybe they could give us a, who knows, special discount to further push the price down. So we are in the discussion, and it's actually still active discussion from both technology partner and our marketing partner. Yep.
Okay, Dr. Jasmine. Before this, in your slide, you have shown that the study started on 2012.
Yep.
Until now, it's already 2020. And then you plan the project is planned to be commercialized on 2022. It's around 10 years.
Yeah.
Is it normal for a medical device to take up such a long time for it to be commercialized?
Yeah. Okay. To share with you. Actually, when I joined the UTM, in 2012. So actually, that is the first project that I initiated, because as you know that my background is on the computer engineering and E&E. So at the time when I joined the biomedical faculty, what should I do about biomedical? So I'm trying to apply my research background to biomedical instrumentation. So at that time, because the heart disease is a very hot issue, therefore I straight away decided, okay, I want to do something for the home-based heart monitoring device. So to share with you, at that time we didn't think that as a academician or as a researcher, we also just I publish paper, I come out a very good algorithm, I prototype it, and then we never think about we can really come to this stage as well. If you ask me whether it is too long, I would say that from the industrial point of view, yes, maybe it will take too long. But however, considering that the nature of the universities and the researchers' constraints, and then we have to train the algorithm first, and then we have to identify the algorithm, and then we have to process, design the architecture, and then we keep fine-tune, keep enhancing the device until this stage. I would say that we really did not bad. I mean, when I'm trying to present this idea during the conference, for example, in the last year, when I share this invention to during ESC Asia, it's a very specific conference related with the cardiology. Then I show this invention to them. They are quite impressed that we're able to do that in the university environment. Okay, because now a very tangible device is already generated and it's work. So I would say that we really do no bad lah. Okay, but if you give me the resource of an industrial, I have a full team of the engineer, I have a manufacturer there, then I would say 8 years is very long lah. But with all the resources that we have now, I would say it is. I'm very satisfied, and I think together with my researchers who are always working under my torture, I would say that we are proud of our achievement lah. But at the same time, we also want to humble also. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jasmine, for the great response and answer.
Yes.
Okay.
Another question from the audience, I know.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Dr. Jasmine. Okay, once again, I would like to promote our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube page. Please like, subscribe, and share so that we can stay tuned for our next webinar series. Last but not least, I would like to take this opportunity to wish Malaysian happy 63 Independence Day. Merdeka! Thank you.